In this video, I'm going to show you the inbox reminders and profile features of ClickUp 2.0. Now, there's been a lot of discussion recently about the inbox feature and whether or not it does everything it needs to do. And the ClickUp team are very good at taking feedback and making changes, so we may see some changes to that in the near future. If that's the case, I'll put a link to a new video somewhere up here. But otherwise, for today, we're going to go through how it works currently, and I'll also show you some alternatives in case the current functionality doesn't suit you. I'm going to go first into my inbox. So the inbox is a place where you can see all the things that are assigned to you. That is the requirement for being in the inbox anywhere, is that it has to be assigned to you. So the inbox, the first tab, is anything that's been assigned to me and either should have already been done or is in progress. So that means that the due date is either in the past, today, or it's in the future, but the start date is today or in the past, if that makes sense. So either it's in progress or overdue in order to be an inbox. So we can see I've got a few tasks here. This does look perhaps a little bit messy. We can turn off breadcrumbs to make a slightly simpler layout if that's your preference. I do like to see where everything is though. The next one is next. These are things that are in the future. So the start date and the due date are both in the future. And for done, this is anything that is finished. And this is my example space, so there's nothing in here. But I believe everything for all time that has been finished will come in here. This is perhaps not that useful, but if you accidentally click something done that shouldn't have been, you can jump back in here and fix that, or perhaps see what's been done recently, go back and change something extra, whatever. Okay, now this top bar up here is actually for creating reminders. Reminders are similar to tasks, but they are much simpler. So you can't have statuses on them, you can't have discussion on them. They're just remembering to do a thing, and you can say yes, it's done, or no, it's not, and some basic options. So let's put in a reminder to maybe check the stock prices. Great. We can attach an attachment if we want to, in case someone needs to look at something. We can add a date. It'll default to today's date, but perhaps I want to do this on Monday, and we can assign it to someone else. So I can assign it here to Fred, because I want Fred to look at the stock prices on Monday, and we can go save. Now, that's useful for this next tab, which is delegated. This is all the reminders I've created for someone else. And in this tab, we can go into them, we can change some details, mark it as done, snooze it to a later date, or quickly change it into a task. And we can choose where to put that task, and we can delete it. Okay, and lastly, we have our unscheduled tasks. So this is anything that's not going to go into those top three buckets because it doesn't have a date. So we can quickly go through and do some actions here. We can mark them as done, set a priority, set a date in case we want to go to one of these three buckets, and we can even delegate it to someone else. And that will remove us from the task because these are assigned to us, and it will assign that person instead. And lastly, we can delete it. If we do want to just click on it, it will take us to that space and straight into that task. Okay, so that leads us to our third topic today, which is profiles. So when I go into anywhere on ClickUp where I see someone else, beside their name, it'll have this little profile button. And if we click on that, it's essentially their inbox. So we can see how many tasks they're currently doing, how many they've done recently, how many they have unscheduled. Now, Fred is a fake person I've just created, so obviously he has nothing. But we can see we have the same tabs here, inbox, next, done. And if we create a reminder here, it'll automatically assign it for Fred. The recent window is separated into tasks that Fred has created, tasks that Fred has tracked time on, and tasks that Fred has made some update to, so change some information on the task itself. And in unscheduled, we can sort it, and again, see the breadcrumbs. Now I also do want to point out this little add description field up here, so you can add perhaps the person's role or who they are. In this case, I'm just going to say test account. But I do want to point out that this is actually public, so if they log in, they'll be able to see this. So don't put like a personal note about, reminding that guy from that time, that kind of thing. Do make sure that whatever you write in, you're happy with them seeing. Now, from our inbox, if we do want to go back, we can just click this back to left sidebar, and that'll take us back to the regular ClickUp. Or you can go straight to your favorites, or use the quick switcher to jump to a location. So I'm going to go back now. Now at the start of the video, I did say that I would show you an alternative in case this wasn't how you wanted the inbox functionality to work. So what we can do instead is create a filtered view. Now you want to do this on the highest level that covers everything that you have tasks in. So for most people that would be the everything view, but in this example, I'm going to do it on the example space. So this would collate all the tasks within the example space. So you can see I've got 3 set up here. I'm actually just going to delete them and redo them. Okay, so I'm going to add a view. Now you could actually use any one of these, but I'm going to use list. I'm going to call it inbox to replace our inbox functionality. Now the way the inbox works is that it's assigned to me and it's either started or the due date is today or in the past. So we're going to create some filters that do the same thing. Now if I were to filter for myself, so assigned to me, and if this was a private view, that would be fine. Private views are a business feature, but if I was saving this for everyone, then no matter who looked at it, they're going to see my tasks rather than their own. So instead of doing that, what we'll do is we'll say always use me mode, and that way anyone who goes to it will see their own tasks rather than my tasks. Okay, second, we'll add a filter that says that the due date is either today or earlier in the past. Great. So now we have essentially our basic inbox. We could add a second rule to say that if the start date is in the past, then also add that, but I don't actually like that. I just want to see what's coming up as due. So I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to save this for everyone. Great. The next one is I'm going to create a second list view and call it next. So similarly, I'm going to make this always use me mode. So I'll just see my own tasks. And then this one, I'm going to create a filter that says the due date is in the next 7 days. So I want to see what's coming up next. Now we could add a second filter here to say that the start date is also in the past. So we have things that are in progress, but that will create some overlap with these ones because these ones all obviously have a start date in the past being overdue. So I'm actually not going to do that. I'm just going to leave my next as the next 7 days. So actually I might change the name of this. Okay, and lastly I'm going to create a third list view to say unscheduled because I do want everything to pop up in one of these 3 views. So in my unscheduled view, I'll filter to say that the due date is no date and the start date is no date. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so now we have inbox, next 7 days, and unscheduled. Now you might want to set yours up slightly different from this, but the great thing about this is you can just change your filters and set it up however you like. All right, I hope that was helpful. If you do want to see some more videos like this, I put them out fairly regularly. You can click subscribe down below, and if you hit the bell icon, it'll definitely come up in your feed. If you have any questions or would like to request that a certain topic be covered in the next video, then put it in the comments down below. And if you are looking for more help with setting up ClickUp or would like some training for your team, then you can go to the consulting link down below and book a free 30-minute call with me.